second, but yeah, I'm actually gonna move my camera. I think. Do I want to be on screen? Oh, damn it! I'll just move it to the side, other side. That's not what I wanted. I want this. Oh, I moved the camera without the stupid thing behind it. Cool, cool, cool. Did you guys see it? I saw it in passing. Shaggy Black? Sorry, so sorry.
Yeah.
That's so random, but Shaggy Black? What happened?
Everybody's black at this point, man. I think Velma's black too, right?
No, she's
She's gay or something, or bi, a lesbian.
no, that's a different one.
That's a different. Yeah, there's like 3 different Velma. I don't know why there's like 4 different Velmas happening right now. By the way,
I think Velma's like she I want to say like Southeast Asian.
Christ.
I think. Scooby's not in it. Oh no, no one's gonna watch it. Who cares?
Scooby's not in it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's
because
Scooby
they
Doo
want it
at?
to be more adult.
Where's
But
Scooby
I don't
Doo at?
know.
So what? Scooby Doo can't be grown? You can't get some
Yeah.
dog cheeks?
I don't know.
Apparently.
I don't know.
What's going
No,
on?
I don't know.
That's funny as hell. Listen, I don't watch none of that shit, so I don't give a damn. I just thought it was. I just want to know if I saw it in passing. Nice fair mangaka coming back. By the way, you gonna get packed up. I got the video ready. I've been ready. I've been waiting. What destroyed this man's whole career? All right. And then I think the last thing was what Bleach is out, right? The first episode dropped. You watched? Any of you guys watched that?
Nope.
I've not watched it.
And you believe that? Do you believe that that's acceptable behavior?
Yes.
Not really.
Very much so.
Okay. I've seen it. I was in the wilderness, so. Yeah. Okay, let me just add a couple things on screen, then we're gonna start a conversation. Give me one sec, guys. At Chandra.
I did hear that Ichigo used Bankai on fodder.
Oh, cool. Or something. I don't remember how that thing starts. I think there's like a guy that's like
It's a hollow that pretends to be a Quincy. Well, I guess it doesn't really pretend because he does have the bow and stuff. And he basically goads Ichigo into it because he wants to steal it, and Ichigo's like, sure, and he can't steal it.
Yeah, yes, that's what it was.
And then Ichigo just packs him up.
The German looking dude or whatever after or something.
Hyuga Ope.
Yeah, there you go.
The only real Quincy.
He Loki went hard. All things considered.
He knew all the special techniques.
He kind of went crazy. All things considered, if I'm being honest, if I remember correctly.
He said, "Speech is silver, silence is golden."
And then that's how Yamato said the line.
Wow.
I won't lie to you. As much as I don't really care for Bleach like that, that line always moves me. He said, "I'm here. There's no greater security." Something like that. I said, "Jesus Christ, I'd leave. I'm not fighting him. It could be a bluff. It worked. I'm not fighting you, bro. What did you just say to me? I'm going home. I'm gonna see my wife and kids. You ain't doing this to me. You ain't ruining my career, bro. Fuck do I look like?" But all right, say hi to YouTube because this will be on YouTube later, and our friend Glam is all the way caught up with Kubera. I have more people to speak with. We gonna pick his brain on so many things. But before I even do anything, I want to give you the chance to either double down, change, or like just whatever, double down or change your opinions on anything you said was a criticism earlier. If you remember what you said in the video at all.
Power scaling criticisms are still the same, or power system.
I can help you with that, Loki. I've been doing
not scaling. System.
I know. Yeah,
still the same. Kubera Lee's meetup still the same. I will take back not liking the off-screen of Maruna and Ran for obvious reasons. And that's about it. That's the only thing I got.
All
right. I can say. Wait, what was the second one you just said? I just zoned out.
The Lee's and Kubera meetup. I still have issues with.
Oh wait, do you not have any more issues with Maruna and Rand's thing being a flashback?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Well, I guess the question I want to ask. Sorry. 1 second, real quick. I actually do want to read a comment about the power system, and we'll get into it for a second. Just give me your thoughts on Fiendish magic and when that was introduced and whatnot. Did that add anything or detract anything? Did it make things a little more murky for you? What did Fiendish magic do when you were introduced to it?
I don't think I really got enough out of it to have a really solid opinion.
Okay.
Because it's not like the same problems I have with transcendentals, or transcendentals you used all the time, but there's like no substance behind how they work, what they really do, how you acquire them, other than like attributes and vigor.
I,
I'm gonna read
Fiendish
this comment.
magic was at
oh,
least
I'm gonna
this
read
is
this
how it
comment.
works.
I'm gonna read this comment for you. This is from
Okay.
the video that we had, right? So Corey said, "I kind of disagree with you with the points on the spell system. It's pretty consistent in universe. The thing is that the flexibility and power of spells depends on the calculation and on the divine affinity /
he was gonna
vigor
say
of the
whatever.
magician using it. Most spells have a general description of what they do, but the actual effect varies based on those factors. That's why we can have Hati Maru being used by Asha to both decapitate someone and cut her hair at different points. She calculated differently, but the basic effect of the spell was the same. I actually agree with that. I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily
that
disagreeing that maybe your issues are your issues, but I agree with that that explanation though.
I mean, I never made the claim that the system was inconsistent.
Mhm.
First of all,
Oh,
I
okay.
made the
Well,
claim that it is poorly executed within the confines of the story, because the abilities within are nebulous or restrictive depending on which attribute you're using.
I
Um, and
I
I
look at
don't think saying calculate the calculations make it differ. One, I don't actually think that's true
it is.
based on what's happening. I actually, I don't. People can say it's true. I don't think it's shown to be true based on what the characters are doing. Because one, you don't know what calculations they're doing in their head because you never get to see it.
That's
And
true.
second,
I can't
and
even tell.
second, and and you have to then just assume that that's what they're doing. And I'm not going to give any author that sort of benefit of the doubt in a story where you're supposed to be telling me in a visual medium. This is a novel, you might get my attention in that regard, but other than that, you're
The
not going to get it.
the reason why I would disagree with you is because one, his point of the hair thing is like one of the main reasons of why Asha always has that short hair. Where whole team Marut, she literally does this of like to prove if she's gonna accidentally kill herself or not.
Yeah, I know
Whether
what it
like
is.
the length, width, and even power of it changes based off of her calculations and topology. In the same way, even they say it with Mira. Mira's control of Bahati value so great that it extends of the control just using wind as like stepstones or like hovering places, but she uses it as an actual cleaning mechanic when she's in her temple when she's either trimming hedges or pushing away debris.
Yeah, Miles, that doesn't counteract anything I said. I can use it in the same way in terms of hockey. I don't know that's the case unless you tell me. There's no visual indication that that's the case until after the spell is done. And then when you're saying Hoti Marut, shoot one beam versus another character say Hoti Marut and it shoots 13 beams. It's like, what's the difference? That's visual that can indicate why this is happening. There is none.
You don't think there's a couple context clues in
So
terms of like maybe like we know Ash is a quite brilliant, just in generally speaking, and she has a
No,
lot of
I don't,
foreknowledge.
because
So
I'm not saying, yeah, because I
I'm
understand
just
like
picking your brain.
skill level.
I'm not
But
agreeing or
yeah,
disagreeing with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
yeah,
I'm just doing my
yeah,
yeah.
I
thing.
guess I'm
Like,
confused on what's the visual indicator you want. I guess that's what I guess I'm confused.
I would
Would you want her
say
to calculate?
no, no, not even that. I wouldn't
Mhm,
even need numbers in the head,
mhm.
because what I had given this hypothetical example where if a character said Hoti Marut and
Okay.
it was dependent on hands and like way fingers are placed in the air or on a body part.
Okay.
Okay.
If she had flat palm in the air and Hoti Marut and just shot a beam, but if she wanted to do a number of beams, palm flat out, but she splayed her hands out, and that's what changed the effect of the spell. That's an easy visual indicator that you can use. Having just math in their head that you just have to assume that they're doing is not that.
Okay. I mean, that's fair to me. That's fair to me.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
In the same way as like when you're saying, because that's because Marut's very restrictive. It's beam and nothing else. When I compare that to say Brahma, it seems like you can make literally anything you want, but
Well,
mostly it's like a barrier from what I've been seeing so far.
well, yeah. I mean, the way I guess,
Versus Varuna, only applications so far have been water blast or directing the flow of water in a boat.
yeah. So the way I take it, right? It's one of those weird things where Well, I think Marut and Ashvin are so single-mindedly different than most, and like why they're super restricted is because their magic is from a fourth sin god, and that's why I also think Brahma's the most uh fluid is because it's coming specifically from a creation god. That's why like
I
the
would agree with that if fifth Zen's abilities weren't also restrictive, like Indra's and Vayu's
so I'll actually
only have one effect.
I think I can explain some of those. So
The spell, hold on, the
at
spell is
least
based off a
with
god transcendental skills, so that explains some of the differences between the
yes, that's
effects of
literally
magic.
what I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
transcendentals have like attributes connecting to like
So
whatever god attribute it is. But I'm saying like, how do you acquire a specific or special transcendental? How
n-
psychological ones work? All this other
no,
kind of stuff that's not really heavily explained or delved into. It's just like,
yeah.
hey, I have this ability and I do it. That's really it.
Oh yeah, well I don't know about the innate. I guess I assume that's more quarter and well because I think there's only a few pure bloods that can use transcendentals, and that's fucking Rao, Lees, and
And
those are more even
even for
praying.
Sirs, for
Yeah,
Sirs, it seems very like it either depends on the individual or clan, and even at certain points, it seems very different in terms of
the
that as well.
yeah the way I well I so I guess going first I'll go back to the magic and I'll try and see the transcendentals. What from his point I think is the right thing. I think gods and shures are a lot more similar than I think we think. Like they're literally called Nastikas and Astikas. Gods was just a name that was taken over, but they're very similar in their creation. So to me, San Yoga and San Veya are actually extremely similar to Hoti and Bhavati,
Well,
where
yeah,
you're
I didn't even get to talk about Fiendish magic because I was going to say because now I wanted to do the comment, but
yeah
I can say like Fiendish magic. I don't think was delved into enough for me to really have any issues with it because I don't really have enough
yeah
of a baseline to understand well, like, especially for San Vega.
Mhm,
Like I know that it's all contractually based, so you have to actually ask the
hmm
Nastica every single time.
mm.
But like the effects of the spells, again, I would assume the effects of the spells are similar to divine magic,
You didn't miss
where
one. You didn't miss
yes
much, but we did do the Abyss 20 discussion
yeah,
already. But
yeah, I wouldn't assume that like for instance, Sanyoga Kinara has any other ability other than cloaking somebody
yes very
based on
similar to
how
Hoti.
divine magic works.
it's
I
yeah,
would
Yes,
they
assume it'd
just
be
need.
relatively restrictive for that.
I
Mhm.
think it's
Um,
literally just like Hoti Chandra. Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, to me that's why I think they're very much the same thing. It's just where they're deriving the power from, and the difference is just they don't need contracts. So when you're using Hoti in Vivahati, all you're doing is it allows humans to access a specific technique of a god uncontractually, and they all have access to one fraction or one variation of that said god's power.
well, if
So that
that's the
depends
case,
on
then the
what the god is.
calculation. Well, Miles, if that's the case, then the calculations really don't matter in terms of
I would
changing the effect.
disagree because you would still need that to change things. Because look at Varuna, right? Varuna's magic, Hoti Varuna, is specifically water like control. I guess so. Like that means you can shape or do whatever, and the way in which you use that would change. Vahati is just the actual act of freezing. That's why topology is super important. So you don't actually, so you can control the range and degree of it. Because if you don't, you'll just freeze yourself and die, like what
Mhm.
Ran used to do. So you have to actually have those things to control the shape and size, or you'll just kill yourself.
Yeah.
So I to me like that's why I think the degree of range of different things is because it depends based off the abilities that you're accessing the god because they're not all just control of a set element. Like Hoti Agni, I believe, is actually just more flame control. And I think the reason why a lot of things are more basic is because they're all crafted to literally fight Shuras. So they take things of more of like giant beams or balls that just strike things down because they're not like crafted for mage to mage combat. I think if it was, I think you would see different variations even within the small
Well,
subcategories.
that's why I said that some of them are restrictive and some of them are nebulous, and that's why I don't think the system is wholly executed to the best of what it could be in the story.
Mhm.
I think you're
What I'm gonna do when I'm gonna do my
either
reread,
intentionally or
I'm gonna keep
unintentionally
an eye out.
limiting
I'm gonna
yourself.
keep an eye out for it, and I'm especially
Mhm.
gonna look for visual. I think I could. I personally will believe like going into my own into the recesses of my own mind, which is not which my memory's trash, but I
Mhm.
can honestly remember a couple of visual indicators being distinct enough that I can probably come up with a reason with why they're different. But I'll keep an extra close eye on that when I'm rereading to see about like
Yeah, because whenever
because
I
of the
reread
magic and
it,
whatnot. Yeah.
whenever I reread it, I gotta see as well. And this isn't to say that
No, I'm just no.
Magic is no, I'm just saying just for explanation, just for chat's sake mainly, like, this isn't to say that the magic system is bad, because I don't think it is.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I think it's underperforming from what it could be.
I agree with that. I actually do agree with that, and I think you are right about the visual indicators. That I from even this reread, no, there aren't any. There actually aren't.
And that's why I'm saying, like, if I have a whole school of magic dedicated to fire based off of a god, and I only have access to 2 different effects with Hoti or Ravati, I should be able to do more than just 2 things. That's all I'm really saying.
Okay. I hope that the reason the power system hasn't been explained more is because learning more about the power system will have major plot implications, especially for how it all relates to the power of the name. That's possible actually. All things considered, you can summon water with Hati Varuna too.
Yeah, because there was a
Yeah.
that's why I said before, it's
Mhm.
literally shooting a water blast out of midair or controlling flow is the
Mhm.
only thing that I've seen so far from Verona.
Before the Cataclysm, the magic of a lot of gods was more available, including that of gods with the same attributes and gods of mixed attributes. But now some of those variations are missing since only the magic of the 11 gods are available. Fair point. Ushas, for example, that's a good point.
Well,
I'll also
Um,
say that I'm
well,
glad to see Fiendish magic actually included in the story and not just talked about. It was good
yeah,
from
that's what
not even a
that
power system
yeah,
standpoint, but a world building standpoint to actually
just to
see
see
it
it.
in
Yes, yes.
use was good.
So I guess this is a good segue to talk about how she explores her history by having the actual characters being there. Now that you've gone through the wait of time, the other side of the story, Abyss, and all those kind of things. Well, I guess we're still on Abyss and Nata and stuff like that. Where there's so much to talk about because there's so many characters and things I want to get your thoughts on. But I want your thoughts on how Currygom explores her history in her literature. Like, what do you
Well,
think? What do you think about it? Them
I
actually
think
kind of being a part of
dedicating
it.
yeah, I think dedicating damn near 100 chapters at this point to an entire time travel arc is a good way to do that because
Mhm,
then you can show points in history.
mhm,
Um, and I think it's also good that she's not delving into the mechanics of time travel too heavily. Just go with the classic closed loop, 2 different pathways, and they just merge into one, and it works fine. You don't have to
mhm.
talk about causation
They didn't
or any of this other
overcomplicate
kind of
it.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it was very well done, especially in regards to the ancient human point that
mm,
Maruna was in. I
speak
think
on it.
that was the best period in terms of the history that made me care about the other things that were happening rather than just being like, okay, how do they get from point A to point B? That was where I was the most invested when pre the gods betrayal the ancient humans. That whole section was a very long time. I think Weight of Time so far is the best section in the entirety of the arc for the time travel stuff.
That's fair.
Um,
Honestly, it was my favorite. I would argue I really liked Anata, but it's like one A and one
I
B
did
kind of
too, but
thing.
I think the character work done
No, I'm not
in
mad
Weight
at
of
it.
Time's too much for me. Yeah.
And now that you're here, I can tell you like my favorite. Like I rock with the ancient human. That's my race, bro. That's what I'm rocking with. I don't Suras,
Uh
whatever. Like I'm trying to be an ancient human. I love the concept. I thought it was really dope. Like I was like super into it. I don't remember what it's called. What's the thing called when you go into your new life and you actually remember your old life? You did a little ritual. What's it called again? Coming of age, something like that. I can't remember the
coming of
word.
age ceremony is what
Oh,
it's called.
was it really that simple? All right, there you go. There you go.
Yep.
But yeah. Hold on. Ushas, for example, Maruna is said to be the Rakshas close to dawn. I'm going to speak about Aruna in a second. Um, so Maruna's attributes are the same as Usha's. Rand using magic without calculation makes his magic casting so fast that his magic activates before he says the spell. So
Yeah.
Maruna's and Usha's attributes are sky, light, and fire.
Usha doesn't have a light. She's sky and fire.
Just sky and fire? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I thought for sure she'd be light based on being goddess of dawn, but I guess not.
Mm.
Which makes sense though. Why
She's
she's
very
also
pretty, by
Indra
the way.
likes her.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
also
that's what I
makes
say.
sense why Indra.
As soon as she met Indra and he had that reaction, I was like, oh, so she's
Mhm,
Sky then.
mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, just to kind of close this, yeah. So the way she explores her history, I really like just because generally speaking, the characters aren't actually divorced from it, and they don't even like they don't know that in the present time. But as they're going through their little timey wimey adventure, they're realizing that they play a part in events in the past that connect to the present, which is I think is really cool. I really like that.
Hmm.
I've seen like moments of that happening. Like I said, like I usually Harry Potter, the third movie. I think third movie. I think it's the third book. Sorry, Prisoner
It
of
is.
Azkaban. Yeah, Goblet of Fire is
That's when they have
fourth,
the
right?
time turners.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. So
it's
like
time turners. It's three.
I kind of like that. So she likely does have light. I guess maybe they're saying it's not confirmed. I don't. But
I don't. I don't know. I don't know if mixed gods can have up to three. I thought it was only two. I
I
could be
mean,
wrong.
Ushas was nearly a fifth Zen, so it might be
Yes,
possible.
but then
since
I'm curious if she would she get a new element
Maybe.
because none of the fifth Zens have more than one. So I'm curious if she would develop like
Well,
a
that's the
Dawn
first time we've ever heard about another god ascending up to fifth Zen as well.
Yama.
Oh yeah, him. But yeah, but he's like
the goat.
he was created and then he was fifth Zen. Like he wasn't like a natural though. That's the thing.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Like she seems to be just like a fourth Zen, like Marut or Aspen, and she's like, yeah, I'm just gonna level up because I'm goaded, essentially.
The wiki says the gods can have up to 3 attributes. Right, there you go.
Okay, cool. Man.
It's probable that most of the naturals are
Mm.
all triple for theirs.
Okay, so what do you think about Indra?
I'd actually like, yeah, if you want to talk about all the gods, I think
I thought
this,
since we have Ushas, I thought Indra would just be a fair
yeah,
segue.
but I was just gonna say, I think the time travel arc has done a massive service for the first kings and the gods, especially the
Told you.
naturals.
I told you. Just wait on it.
There was there was definitely a king I want to pick your brain on because he wasn't messing with the clan, but it looks like you
Yeah.
messing with the Kang though. But we'll get there. Go ahead.
We'll see.
Indra. This man is a bastard.
Yes.
He has got to go.
Wait,
If somehow permanents get this fucker the hell out of here, please.
Yes, we're not fucking with Indra. We don't
He
fuck
needs.
with him.
I'm glad that this aspect is coming into the gods. There needs to be some that are villains, and as far as I can tell, him and Brahma are prime candidates for that role.
Okay, that's what's up.
I hate.
But I
Indra.
actually think I prefer Brahma as a villain to Indra so far.
Okay,
I actually
like
like
Brahma too. I don't like Brahma.
I hate Brahma.
But Brahma's a great character because Brahma said, "You guys look at her ancient humans like you guys are just defective." Said that's crazy. Yo,
she's like
she was sick. She was sick. She's like, I'm doing it over. I said, "Yo, chill. What's good with you?"
She's like a fucking engineer getting angry at a toy that didn't work up to her high standards and throwing them away like a little baby. And I'm here for it.
But you built them. You knew what you were getting to. I fucking hate Brahma, bro.
blowing her
I can't
bubble
wait
gum. I'm
for
like,
him.
yo, what are you monster?
And I got an indication of this because when me and I talked about pre 161 chapters, there was an indication of it that I didn't expect to happen was her getting involved in the plot and going to the Sur Realm to do something. As soon as I saw that, I expected her to be a lot more active. And as soon as I got it, where she literally walked to that defense tower and just fucked it up, I was like, okay, she's about that action, and I kind of respect that.
No, we don't respect her. We don't respect Brahma in these streets. Okay.
We need villainy, Miles. Stop hating.
No, we don't. We got villains. They're all gonna die.
Not God villains.
Clary's number one.
Chill out, Clary, man. Damn.
No, Naya. After reading season 1 and 2, I hate her even more because Tio specifically says she looks exactly like Rao. I don't want to hear anybody ever say, how would Clary know she's Rao's daughter? Because she looks like him.
The resemblance is uncanny. Brahma's so intriguing to me. I agree. She's a little intriguing, but I don't know. You know me. I like ancient humans. I was hurt. I can't believe he boldly lied about killing so many humans. He said he's the second most popular god. Vishnu said that their creations can't be perfect in the flashback where Manaka was talking to the primeval gods.
Wait. Hold on.
I was gonna if all I'm gonna do is bombard this man with questions. You have something to say, just say it.
Hit me with every god. Hit me with every god. Hit me with every god, and I'll give you an answer.
I'm about to go to Yaksha.
Okay. Yeah. Every god in Gnostica, and I'll give you an answer.
So I wanted to see what you thought about Vayu, and I just wanted like if you have like a list.
I'm hyped for Vayu. I need that brother to come into the main plot.
Thank you.
Because Miles, anytime I see a god that's going to be associated with the summoner, my interest immediately heightens because that's potential goated character relationship. It's already happened with Agni, already happened with Chandra. If I get it with Vayu, especially with Vayu literally being the only one to help in the Sura realm after the Taraka clan shit, along with knowing Lee's and Rao and the neutral bow stuff, massive potential for Vayu, in my
I
opinion.
like Vayu because from what I see him in
and he had a lover like Agni did, and he gave that shit up because he's goaded. He's suffering. But I also respect Agni for not letting Brilith go because Brilith didn't want to let go of him, so it's a little bit different.
I think Vayu's
interesting dynamic.
I think Vayu's like a good in between. It's not like a 1-to-1 in between, but like this is the closest I can think in my head. He's like a good in between of Chandra and Agni, I think.
Okay.
I
don't know.
I'd say he's definitely more Agni than Chandra,
yes,
but
I
can
agree.
kind of see the comparison.
Indra also had a lover. Listen, I don't care.
Yes,
Indra is a cat.
Indra did not like. Yeah, Indra didn't like her.
Indra's
and then
unhinged.
another thing I liked about Vayu, when Vayu was just helping Maruna out too throughout this entire time, I was like, yeah, he's real for that.
That was cool. And he talked about, hey. Oh, shit. I'll talk my comment.
Let Mira be his summoner. Please, for the love of God, I don't want it to be Roosh.
Wait, Glam, give me just an arbitrary list of your god ranking.
I don't have one, and I can't really think about it right now. But
we'll say that for another day. But all right, talk to me about Yaksha.
Dog. Oh my!
have you switched over? Have you seen the light?
Easily my second favorite Nastica. Easily, not even close. He's still behind Genharva because Genharva's got more character relationships. But this brother is different. What are we talking about?
Naya. Why Glam copying me, bro?
This man Yaksha is raw.
I'm outnumbered. I need backup.
No, go to your little dragons. Go to your little dragons.
Hey, fucking disrespect the Breacher clan.
I'm still Breacher clan.
Yeah, we still Breacher clan over here. Just because I like Yaksha doesn't change the best clan. All right.
They're crazy.
Do you think that he was one of the like Suras that you ever met that are like, yo, from like the first time you see him, he comes across as pretty genuine and nice, and he's like I just think he's a good dude. Like I would not mind if that guy was the leader of the clan that I was in. You know, like
especially when he was all old sensei like with Ran, that sold me. And with Hanuman too.
Yes,
that was the funniest thing when
the Hanuman thing threw me off to become a grandpa. I was like, wait, grandpa Hanuman? I was like, wait, grandma. So
that's kind of the mother of my mother. That's my grandmother, right? Full ass 6'5".
Oh, I'm glad you just commented again. Yaksha is my fourth favorite character. Yaksha's good. We're gonna talk about Yaksha. You had a comment that I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna post it here in a second. But Yaksha had that like immediate gravity where I'm like, oh no, he's dope. Like I really like him. I would. He's not one of my favorite 10 characters. I'm gonna be honest, but he had that immediate impact. That also, like I said, Basaha, it lasts because it's through Ran.
Yes.
Through Ran, you get a lot of it. And remember even recently, the Tatia. Like, you know what I'm talking about, that moment where he's like, yo, thank you for like being kind of like the actress, kind of like, oh, that's so fucking
that
good.
shit was so good.
It was so good.
When he got his heart back and said, all right, Ashra, you said you wanted the smoke. I was like, this man is different. And he packed that fucking bitch ass bug. Get him the fuck out of here.
Ashra's so funny, bro.
Who was he talking to? Was it when Manas even talked to him? He said, "Get the fuck off."
Ashra just literally is a shit talker. That is all he is.
Yeah,
and a fight merchant.
Yeah, that was awesome though. See, not to your
top
one.
I like Ashra.
Ravana's OD too.
Ashra is like, he's good for a small role, in my opinion. Like, have him there for like a physical fight or something. Ravana is mid to me.
Yeah.
Fuck Ravana.
Really? Talk to me.
I'm unmoved because I think she's just Ashra light.
I like Ravana.
Can I ask you one question though, real quick? Just actually, no. I'll ask you that later. Actually, it makes sense. Actually, no, keep going. Okay, that's fine though. I don't have any strong opinion. I'm pretty indifferent on Ravana right now.
That's what. Yeah, that's like I'm unmoved on Ravana. She's just Ashra light to me.
This might be just me weird after rereading. I'm like pretty convinced now Kura is Ashra and Ravana's daughter. Or Fauna, they don't have gender, whatever. So I'm curious.
Mainly female. So
yeah, but because she has resurrection, so that obviously means Ravana has to be like the mother, and Ravana and Ashra have a lot of kids. I'm curious because it seemed like maybe I was misreading, but it's because I think it makes sense, like, cause why she's so strong then. And I don't want to say like Maruna respected her, but Maruna wasn't nearly as much of a dick to Hura as like the others. And maybe that's just because they were snakes and Garudas and snakes. But I don't know. I feel like that was maybe an intentional thing there. That was just interesting, but nothing important.
Okay. Ashura is likely darkness, fire. Horizon one attribute. Okay, so so let's read this theory real quick. I have a
You guys
theory
think
about
so? Or you
Raltara.
want?
I think what happened to her is the same thing that happened to Yuta in the future of possibility. When the throne of the Taraka clan was forcefully passed on to him, he developed and lost control of his body. Kalavika said that Raltara could be the current king of Tarakas, so it could be that the throne was forcibly passed on to her. That would explain why she lost control, why she looks different. Her face looks more human, possibly probably developed the fifth stage, and why she is so much stronger. What do you guys think?
I mean, she's clearly
Yeah,
She's clearly Tarakafied at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty obvious, personally.
This was
Not
this,
sure.
wait,
under
I think we need
understand
yes.
more.
understand that this comment was made for Abyss 16 though, not
Oh, okay.
necessarily
Wait,
now.
wait, wait, wait. Wait, even though we know now Taraka's here, uh, there was a specific thing of oh, fuck, I can't remember who was. Was it Gandhavra? Where I think it was one of Gandhavra's flashback, and they specifically said Taraka clans are weak. Nothing. What has changed? And and then that's when the new Taraka, like huge, like weird looking Taraka clan member came out and started murking like a bunch of clan members.
That looked like just
I'm
Taraka,
curious.
though. So I don't know what
No,
it was.
that wasn't.
Or
No,
looked
that
like
wasn't
anyway. I
Taraka
can't
for
remember.
sure. Yeah, to me, if there was this increase and it wasn't from Utah for sure at this point,
Could
and
have
if
been
Taraka's
Reltara.
been around this entire time, it could have been Raltara. So
Mm-hmm.
Raltara could have
That
actually
was
been a
around
thing.
the Cataclysm, so it lines up.
Yes, it was. It was the Cataclysm, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. So I think he that gives more. I think he might be right about that.
Yeah, but I think that's largely obvious at this point.
Yeah.
I think we need more of the how it happened rather than the why at this point, like how she became corrupted like this. But that's really it for me. Like it, Rotara.
I was gonna say,
Well, we'll get into it later, but
no, you can speak on Raltara if you want.
well, actually, I wanted to go back to the gods and
Go
Nasties
ahead,
first,
go ahead, go ahead. No, finish that. Who did you
because
just do, Yaksha?
we did
Hmm.
Yaksha,
Yaksha.
Ashra. I'll say for the gods first because it's much quicker because
Okay, go
there's
ahead. Just go through them.
a certain
Talk about
major
Yama.
Nastica.
Talk about Yama.
Yama I already said he had good potential. He has more now, and I need to see it because there's the Agni relationship, there's dissatisfaction with Indra and the way people are doing things. It feels like I think he's a character where he wants to be like Surya and Vayu and Agni in mentality,
Mm-hmm.
but he just doesn't think that he's going to get anywhere with the likes of Indra and Chandra and Varuna in the midst. So he sort of resigned himself
I like
to
that he's anti Indra.
I'll
You're on
do
Team
my
Yama.
job. Mm-hmm.
You on Team Mama? Listen, do you? I don't remember exactly what Currygom said about why he could be. He actually in low key in the right situation is like the strongest because of that one spell. It's like an instant kill. I can't remember what it was. It was in like
The
the
one
blood
where he
world.
summoned all the animals.
Yeah, or something like that. I'm like, yo, this. I'm like, I knew he was the one, bro. When he summoned all those
I
souls.
literally I saw that and I was like, that shit looks raw, and I need to see more of it.
Yeah, that's my guy, man.
Um,
Keep going.
Surya, I think, could be interesting. It would
Mhm.
have been really. I think there's a part of me that's like, damn, I wish Saha was alive so he could have summoned Surya.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it
Because
looked like they had a good relationship.
yeah, and when Surya threw that spear at Indra, no hesitation, I was like, okay, I can do something with this. Is that I like seeing that. Asavin,
The God talk was
interesting.
crazy. Seeing all the gods converse, I love that. That was a
Yeah,
really good. That was necessary.
Asavin to me seems sort of just like a generic Healy character. Like she might have a smaller role. I'm unsure. Marut also just seems like a meathead for the most part. I don't think Marut's going to have much role in the story. Varuna's the interesting one to me. I'm not sure where she's going to fall in terms of relevancy to the story, and she also seems more along the lines of what Chandra and Indra feel in terms of personality, but also there's been certain indications that she can be a little bit caring. So it's she's the
She's
mystery
super
to me.
anti-Shura.
Yeah, like it's weird where she's gonna place for me, but so far, like in terms of the gods, like Agni's still undisputed top one for me. But
I have a
Kubera,
question.
Chandra, and Vi are all fighting for like that second, third place spot for me. I'm not sure where they
She
will
said
all
Yama
land.
would be the strongest if Sura's had a finite lifespan because then the insta kill would work on. There you go. That's what it was. Okay, I know
Okay,
something about those.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
this. Well,
Yama could go up too for me.
Well, this is a question for both of you, I guess, because I know Vayu said he wanted to come, but we do know in the one timeline, Rand's uncle did summon Varuna.
Yes,
So
and Rouge
do you
summoned
think?
Ayu.
Yeah. So do you think there's a potential? I don't think Rand's kids are gonna die, but that for some reason Varuna could be summoned, or do you think probably not?
I think if she is, Rand's going to be the one that summons her because I think he's going to take the Priest of Water job soon so he can be near his kids. Personally,
Can he take that lifespan loss?
he's already doing it.
Yeah.
I wonder.
And if but Miles, if she's there, she can give him more water to use to offset it. That could be tech.
Oh,
There's
that
but
could be
I'm also
tech.
thinking about literally like the Vigor Boys and them. Like, how does those two
That
things
could
kind of
be tech.
interact? Like,
That's
like when you add that variable, that'd be interesting. You never know how it can all mix up. He could become a
Because
fucking monster.
Varuna could potentially have something to say, and maybe if Currygom wants to be cheeky, throw in potential love triangle with Reyna, and Varuna, but it's just one sided on Varuna's end if she wants.
How do you think Varuna would feel about Rand, because he's so much more
I mean, Miles,
Nastica-like now.
That's what. Now you're cooking with gas. This is why it might be a good idea. If he's Sura, she may not like her summoner, but he'd be like, "Listen, bitch, you're gonna do what I say."
Oh shoot! Murder appeared
Rand would
more than a
box
lot of
her.
gods already. Calavika
And he'd
said she was an
win.
enemy. You are definitely seeing more Maru. You think so? Okay. Chandra said that Rand didn't have the ability to summon. They said the same thing
Wait,
about Lee's.
Yeah,
what did she
facts.
yeah,
do?
because
What's the same thing about Lee's? What
We'll get
does
to.
that
I
shit
have
mean,
questions.
bro? Right?
I have questions
I
about
know.
that shit.
wait,
But we'll get
There's
to it
so
later.
much to
hold
talk about,
on.
bro. But I have to pick your brain on everything before we get to the most recent stuff. I have to know everything.
We're on Gnostica now. Kinara doesn't
Varuna?
move me. Aravata is
Really?
like wholesome. Yeah, Kinara doesn't move me. I think
Oh
she's
no,
gonna
no.
have an inch.
Oh, I thought you said Garuda didn't move you.
No. Garuda, I need more.
Wait, wait.
I'm reserving judgment on Garuda. He looks raw, but I need more from him.
It hasn't been much, but
Wait,
I thought it was
you
an
don't like
interesting.
Kanara?
Now she doesn't move me. I think she'll be interesting for the plot. I just need to get a better sense of where she's gonna fall in terms of
I don't
villainy or
really care
good.
for Kanara either. If you didn't know that, I don't.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'm
I
within the
like
intrigue is in the name, fusion, blah blah yada yada.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like
haters.
And Lenny potentially being Aravata's soul is a thing, but like other than that, I don't really
And
care.
Tilda's now
yeah.
Kanara.
You mean Rand's daughter?
This was
No,
this is Lutz's assistant or whatever. Hold on.
Where was that in?
So
if
actually,
you,
go ahead. You could tell him.
I was gonna say, go back to the chapter after the one girl gets her name that was with Anon. When you go after she gets named, you look at the transformation. She looks like Tilda. And then
I don't even know what you're talking about in that regard.
And then another point that you have to remember is that Yuta specifically, when he meets Tilda for the first time, he says, "I've never been hungry by a half before, but she's making me hungry." And
You remember that?
he specifically gets super hungry when there's an extremely powerful person that's in a weakened state.
Yeah.
So I think that even goes more into her. I forget what chapter
it
it is.
Haters, Kanara was great.
So Miles, you're saying Lenny and Tilda are Aravata, or
No, Lenny has Arivata's name, but because the new Arivata had to get rid of the name Kanara, right?
So
She
Tilda
passed
has
that.
Kinara's name.
Yes.
Now. Okay.
She passed that on.
Does
to her.
anybody have the chapter? Maybe I could just pull it up if the chapter. Let me know.
I honestly don't remember the indication.
The
being
chat
that
will have to
blatant.
tell me that. Will have to tell me that. Hey,
The
also, if you
one
guys
that told
remember when
you and
Varuna
Naya.
was summoned in the enemy timeline, she had the cloak like Kubera in this arc, and Rand wasn't afraid of Tilda despite being a half. Also, I don't know if you noticed this because
Also
I
true.
didn't. I did in the weight of time. Damn it. Katana, what chapter was it in A Weight of Time where you see Asha with Anata in the background? Because when I first read it, I didn't pick it up. I didn't actually see it. I didn't notice it. And they I think it's 170 something. I want to say I think it's during the or once I don't know.
I have another crazy thing about an in early chapter
173
before we
was it
get to it.
173? I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm looking for the one thing for Glam though, but
I'm gonna get some water real quick, BRB.
Okay. No BRB.
okay. Wait, Naya, you know what I need you to do real quick?
What's up?
Go to chapter 22.
Just like literally 22.
22 and tell me what you say.
Like season 122, like just 22 in general.
Yes.
Or okay.
No, I'm sorry. Season 2, chapter 22.
That's what I see.
And just read that beginning and tell me what you see.
All right, let me get to it. I gotta go back. Like you said, season 2, season 3 still. Season 3 is the longest season so far, right?
Yeah.
Yes, by far.
Love it.
Easy.
Okay, I found it.
Would you say it got better and better, Glam?
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like the things
Glam.
the things that you cared about paid off.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay. You said 22. Sorry.
Glam.
Caution.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Tell me who you see. Glam. It's season 3, chapter 232, last panel.
Season 3, chapter 232.
Yes, last panel.
It's all blank. Walking on and on. I still can't see the end. It feels somewhat empty. Oh shit! Is she defeated
who is that?
once again? That's Anata.
And who's talking? And who's he like talking to? Like who's this?
Even after all those trials she had gone through, she doesn't learn anything. Poor thing. Excuse me, I had no idea what you were talking about. I personally have no feelings or anything like that. But to watch, she is just too pitiful. She's like, oh my goodness.
And who wakes up?
Please. This is insanity.
I genuinely think Lisa's already Anata. Genuinely. And I think that to me, when I reread that, I was like, he's been here this entire time.
The chapter
that's
was
him going
season
over
3,
what she just went through.
171. Thank you. 171. I was off by 2 chapters.
Oh,
Dang it!
Okay, yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see Tilda there. Well, no.
That is.
Oh, wait a minute.
Because Tilda's a Kanara half, supposedly.
All you have to do is just pull up the wiki page and look at her season 1 and season 2 and 3 forms, and you'll see it's uncanny.
So wait, so essentially, Tilda was the girl that used Sen Yoga Kinara and then got turned into a half because of the spear, but doesn't remember probably because of some memory shit.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Or she might, we don't know. But the fact that Rand doesn't...
I saw the half there, or I just thought it was the girl who got turned into something. I didn't think it was going to be anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Enon is going to have something to do with that probably at some point if that gets expanded on.
I don't know if you have the stream pulled up, but if you don't, just look real quick. And I want to zoom in.
Yeah, even if we get to the foreshadowing with like Claude in the cards, I was like, oh wow.
It's very hard to see.
I have a lot to say.
But Glam, if you look right where Asha is, in the back you can see Anata there. Like just behind us a little bit, you could see it.
Well, I have a 30-second ad, so you're not
Yeah, pay me. But yeah, like it's crazy because like I do think in some weird way Asha and Lee's have gotten some weird portion or whatever of Anata's abilities and powers, because even with the way she looked in the 3rd season and stuff was looking crazy and Masha when her and Sierra met the other priest. They done fucked him up with what happened to him. But anyway, he was so even seeing the special channel, he was so normal. Look what y'all did to him. Look what y'all did to my mans. But yeah, super incredible stuff. Season 3, chapter 232. Is that the Tilda one? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the Tilda one.
Okay. The reread is enlightening.
Yeah, I think I'll just say this now because we're gonna get to an end of the Nastica stuff. But
exactly.
I think Asha has more. I think Asha has more his physical attributes, and Lee's gonna have more of the time stuff.
That's actually perfectly kind of encapsulates what I think at this moment. All things considered,
I would I think maybe from a general standpoint, but I still think Lee actually got a lot of his physicality just based off the
I
feat
think,
she did.
yeah, I think she will, but I'm saying like I think like the Sura form is going to be something Asha has.
Her form, yeah. I would agree with that.
Purification, partial purification, all those things and stuff. But all right,
Like
that's
Asha
I would
gonna
agree
be
with that.
Asha's gonna be the size of the fucking galaxy at this rate.
the
Is what I'm gonna
shedding.
assume.
Yep,
Yes,
the shedding. Okay, that's fair. It could be the tie the shedding. But yes,
because
hold on. All right. No, actually, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say because didn't Lee's when she came in at the time thing because she's come in
I'm
multiple times,
still not your ally, young Maruna.
yeah,
Oh fuck!
but
can
she
can
she
you
literally
call me an ally?
smacked
Go
she
ahead.
smacked away stage 4 Yuta like easily. So like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She's different now.
Time Lee is moving kind of different.
She's ascended.
That moment with Yuta when it was disappearing and it was like, oh, she hugged her from the back and then and after she disappeared, she started crying. I hurt. I heard it. Ah!
Yeah, facts. By the way, that time shit is feeding more into my idea that her lifespan shit is going to be capped. I'm still of the mindset that her and Ash are going to supersede that in some way. And I think
Technically, it already is Cap because she's definitely lived past it by time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I
think
the limit's going to be gone at a certain point. I think for Cossack it'll still apply, but I don't think it's going to apply for Ash and Lee's at this point.
Let's focus on this section for a little bit. I think it's important, right? So
okay.
first, Glam, I want your like kind of thoughts on what you've seen with like not with everything you've seen from start to finish with Anata, his character, and things of that nature. And then I want to hop into some stuff because
if Yaksha didn't exist, what we could have. Oh, Nanta's my boy, man. Oh, I like. Okay, well, Yaksha's in like that honorable mention tier for me for like characters. Like,
I agree.
not honorable mention list at this point for Kubera is fucking huge, but Ananta would be in. He's in like I really like him. I don't love him. I got to see a bit more of him, but I really like Ananta so far. I like how much different from basically all of the other Sura except for Aravata and Yaksha he is.
Is he misunderstood?
Oh hell! Well, I don't even think it's misunderstood. I think everybody projects an image onto him that they want, rather than misunderstood.
It's like crazy when you really think about it because it's just like when you hear how some people, is he the one who got the sin of being a bystander? There's two phrases for it and stuff like that and stuff.
Garuda was shitting on him.
Yes, there we go. It was him. He was like, and after you kind of see, because like to me, what made there's two things that made my heart sick. And there's one part where you're looking at the paper and it's like it's just black. And like, no, wait a minute. No, if you look closely, and I'm like, bro, how many times did he try to rewrite certain things for the best for a good cause? How many times, bro? The paper was illegible. I couldn't believe it. I said, dog, he's trying his best, bro. I said, yo, this is insanity, bro. He's going through it alone. And when that arc ended with I like to call it Anata's lingering will because of Kingdom Hearts, but you can call it the shedding, whatever you want to call it. And he said, "Who told you that the instinct to survive was only for the weak?" Mic drop. Fucking bar.
No, and that's
fucking bar.
Wait, I have a question for you too, Naya. I think I saw Glam tweet this. Maybe I don't know if you did this, but were we all surprised when
it was just a dude in a fucking
who is this?
polo, and then he gets into the sky fighting them, and it's like first king of the Ananta clan, Nausicaa Ananta, and I was like, what the fuck?
My jaw dropped. He just literally muscled out of his clothes. I was thinking he was just a weak ass Nausicaa.
And he folded Ravana.
This is up to Abyss 20.
No, the funniest shit was when he had Gandhavra, and Gandhavra's like, "Shut the fuck up," and he just snaps his neck.
Snap your ass. He just sit your ass down. Go to sleep.
Because Anata honestly kind of embodies like an archetype I tend to really like in Eastern storytelling, especially where the character kind of comes across as goofy and aloof and is seemingly kind of like an airhead and stuff, but behind the scenes, it's like they're doing so much and they have those moments of being really serious and stuff like that. So like, he just kind of resonated with me equally. I'm like he did, and like in that arc, he did a lot of stuff cool with getting Maruna's original name Soul and giving it back to him. He's just like it's like he's like, wait, what? Because he died because the snowflake apple it's called. All those things. Like, I thought it was really, really good. And then after when I think he runs into a different version of Anata or from a different time and stuff later on when he like stops everything, but he could still move. Like what? Why can he move? Hold on. Like it was just I thought it was a great build up into that. Like
I'll also
he
say
did it.
this
He
is
didn't want to die. I don't want to die. That hurt my feelings too, bro.
one thing that I think could put an Anta over Yaksha for me is if I get a dedicated portion of the story showing how he met Rao and their relationship with each other. Because when Ananta asked Rao to take up the sins upon himself, which is also I'm not even going to talk about what that does for Maruna.
We gotta talk.
We'll get that.
We gotta talk about Rao too, actually. But after this,
But when he puts it on to Rao, I was like, okay, if he's asking Rao to do this, these two must be boys. Like in some regard, like I need to see how the boyification between these two
you want to
occurred.
see the time shenanigans of
I
Anata
need-
and Rao.
I need time buddy cop film with Ananta and Rao. I need it.
You also have to remember Rao also is he's not the it's not the priest. What is it, the Temple of Time?
Temple
Just
of
the
Time, shedding
keeper,
thing,
the
the
head,
weird
or
thing, whatever.
what do you call it?
At least at some point.
Is he just the keeper? Yeah, he was
gonna
the keeper of the
he was
time.
gonna be given it. He was gonna be given it by Ananta in that moment. Because the two of them have done some shit in time together before at least a couple times, from what I can gather.
Yeah.
If I get that in detail, Ananta could easily pass Yaksha for me, personally.
You think though? Do you think only we have to take the fire up? That line was so cold, was moving me. I said, "Yo, bring him back." Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited.
I think Miles had something to say. I was done. Ananta's raw.
I think Rao was the
also
owner because someone said something specifically. I can't remember which character said something, but they were like, "Oh no, he is currently the owner of the temple."
He's the owner of the temple. Or whatever it said.
Yeah.
Rao. I need more. He's in a similar situation to Garuda to me. I need more.
Were you surprised to see him?
Yes, 100%. I was surprised at first, and then immediately after I saw him, I was like, "Oh, this makes sense."
Did you like what you saw?
He's in. When I say like him and Guru, I think
intrigue.
It's like when I looked at Yama in season 1, and kind of still look at Yama now. There is a lot there you could do. Just got to execute on it.
I asked Naya this question.
Especially
I'm curious how
if you do Rao and Vayu and Rao and Ananta, because I think those are his two most important relationships. Out the Anna one, I don't think Anna's something you could do with him, but I don't really think it will be. So I'm not even gonna consider it as a possibility, to be honest.
I still don't even know if Anna was dead this entire. That's an entire different thing.
I know. I don't.
I'm not even gonna. Again, the shit that has tripped me out the most of this whole series, other than God Kubera's whole fucking existence at this point, is how the fuck this shit that's going on right now with child Lees makes any sense in the timeline.
Yeah, like the fact that if her whole town was dead this entire time, but
not even that
hasn't her.
Fucking her meeting Kubera as a kid. What?
That's something
that was like very. I don't. Was it explicitly? It was implicitly told, but I think we knew that. But it's just like there's so much around it that's not fully adding up, and especially when they're like, remember when Anna panics and is like, "Yo, this child does not have the capacity, the ability to summon," and after she's like hugs her, says, "I'm like, bro, what's going on, man? It's so crazy."
It's Anata. It's Anata in her. I'm telling you, it's
the
Anata.
Kaz is just like, "Yeah, your mom left, bro. Oh yeah, she's actually to die." I said, "What is good with this little nigga? What's going on? Like, why is he like this?" Like,
I'm
he's off,
to
bro.
me, it's like when she sees Kubera in Atera, I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy? I've never seen his ass before." That's why I was like, "Okay." She literally summons him. It's like, "Oh, Godnim, can you help me find my mom, Godnim?" And she just knows. She's just fucking fine with him being there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And he's like,
you have forgotten something.
He's like, bro, did you summon me? He's like, me. He even asked her, like, did you summon me? Like, don't lie. Like, I didn't. He started telling me, like, why wouldn't he be able to know that? Just an insight. So, like, I don't know. Maybe there's some truth to what you're saying.
I agree with Miles because there was the scene of like the person in like green outline that said Itai to Kubera.
Yeah,
I think that's Ananta's name being used in some way for that.
I think Anata is using. I think it's the power of Anata in her that did it, which I don't know if that's also why she doesn't have divine affinity because of Anata in her or something
She
like that,
probably has
which is like
OD
fucking with
fiendish
that. Which,
affinity.
yeah, which is why her transcendental value is also super high. But it was foreshadowed. I can't remember at what point it was that when Kubera touched her head. It might have been when he asked her like, if can you spend the day with me? But when he touches her head, there's a really small panel of like a flashback. You don't see Kubera's age, but you can assume it's a young Kubera because it's just the top of her head and his hand as like a flashback to show and she like somewhat recognizes it, but I don't think she can put a name to the hand. But she's like, it's definitely one of those things of like, this has happened before.
I do not remember that, but I could probably see it on a reread.
It's like yeah, I think it's early season 2.
That would have to be.
Yeah, Keaton's in the chat telling me, yeah, it's like early season or maybe even early season 1. But that happened, so we knew that they've met. But I would assume, yeah, somehow
If that's the case,
some level of
Lee's has to have forgotten it in some way. How that
yes,
happens is gonna have to be explained. But yeah,
yeah, that's why. Do you believe that the town was dead this entire time?
no,
You know,
I still don't think they were dead.
there's a really weird panel, Glam, in the first chapter where when she leaves the room with her mother.
Yeah, it's dark. Like as if she knows that something's
It's
gonna
like,
happen.
yeah, that's what
Anna,
I
Anna, Anna,
initially took
Anna
it
has
as.
it's a big puzzle piece for sure.
Yeah,
But Glam, just when I re-looked at it, thinking that the town was dead, it almost seemed as if like the illusion was just ending, and like it only like exists when like Lise is in front of them, if that
You
makes
think the
sense.
you
entire
think
Kind of
town
that
like
the
how
sees
like
people
mom
what's
with
with her
like
those
that
mom
demented
isn't
scientific.
real?
freaking.
Yeah, what's that like scientific theory of like everything only exists when you're like looking at it like in the Matrix or whatever type shit. Kind of like
I
that,
don't
but
think
with like
that's the case.
magic.
I think all the people there are real, even
I would
despite
like to think so.
even though despite Clary's claim that her mom's date of death doesn't make any sense. It's more likely that the mom went into hiding and didn't actually die because Clary's too stupid to put that together. But
Yeah, Clary is dumb as
um,
fuck. Dumb
I
fish.
think more likely it's the case that when or Maruna tried to destroy them, they were maybe transported somewhere, um, maybe to another planet,
That's for
maybe
me.
even
Future
to
Lee
some other
summoned
place.
God Kubera to save her
But
past
I don't know.
selves. Interesting. Golden Knight. I think the entire town of season 1 was just a mental transcendental. Season 1, episode 28. These memories aren't fully reliable though. She lies to herself, and there's that part with Yuta too where she like forget things too. That's a good. There's that too. So
Yeah,
she's kind of an unreliable narrator in some ways, but um, damn. 'Cause this stuff is so intriguing, but I do have to pick your brain a little bit on Kroha and his body and him getting guinea'd. That man said, "Give me that body." I said, "Wait."
man.
I, I don't know. I don't tell you. I just didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, did you just? I'm like, you know what? My new rule is, if I see anybody in conflict and somebody just decides to wound themselves, I'm like, you try to body snatch. That's my new rule. I try to body snatch.
Yep.
That's
As
that's
soon
the
as I
fourth
saw
time
him
I
say
seen that.
as soon as I saw him say Bavati Yama, I was like, "Oh, are you fucking kidding me, bro?" Because I like Kroa. Reach or claim
So do I.
greatness
So
once
do I.
again.
So do I.
Like
Well, that's cool.
and I was like, come on, if he does, I mean, he was old and probably gonna die soon anyway. But like, can't go out like this. Like, we cannot
Also,
go out like this.
also, cool little tip. We actually see Kalavinka's full shore form, stage 4, in
Mhm.
season 1.
I
And
remember
Kroha.
that.
They're both in the tablets or whatever when Lisa's in
Yeah, I remember
is it
that.
Cali Bloom?
Yeah, it's in Calibum.
Yeah, they
You
see
sent
him.
me
That's
the
her
thing.
whole thing. And then Glam, go to season 1, episode 28 and go like to the middle of it.
I'll do it later.
Yeah, yeah. But you'll see the head pat.
Let me okay, so let me ask you a couple of questions. Like it has to do with the narrative, but just kind of like on the outside and stuff. Like what I wanted to ask you, I haven't caught up now. If you had to praise Currygom on one thing specifically or a couple of things specifically, what would it be? And if you had to say she had a general weakness, where would that be?
Meaningful character interactions is her best quality.
Okay.
Because what she does differently from a lot of other, I'll use actually Togashi as an example. When we and Naya give the criticism of him that he uses too much text.
Hmm.
Togashi's
Mm-hmm.
problem is not even character dialogue or interacting. it's exposition for in those interactions and also in internal monologue for a lot of those times. It's overabundance of that.
Blue
Kurrigom
Togashi,
has
bro.
a lot of dialogue in her story, a lot of dialogue, but it's not exposition for the most part. It's characters actually discussing things with one another, getting the core of any issue that they're having with one another, or having revelations with one another. Especially when it comes to relationships that have been built up over and over again. Udalise, Marunalise, Maruna Genharva, Agni Genharva, Agni Brilith. I could go on and on and on. It's her easiest strength that she has. I actually think it supersedes her ability to conjoin 13 million different plot points into one arc. Because I think it leads to better content in this regard for the character interactions. Weakest point is still the execution of the power system, in my opinion. Pacing is still not that much of an issue. I mean, it's an issue that she has. I think it's sporadic, but it's not constant. The fights and the character
Like
and the power
it'll
system
occasionally rear its
application.
head.
Yeah, the fights and the character and the power system application is still her weakest point. And I'll say it again. Me and I now I say it a million times. Now that I'm in the community for this, you're gonna hear me say it with a million times. These fuckers are too strong to not be throwing hands.
But it's a fantasy romance.
I don't give a fuck. We're literally, this is why we're hyped for this chapter, because we're seeing two potentially upper tier Gnostica level fighters about to go at it.
There's no more need for words. Scrap. Just see y'all scrap. I want to see some. I want to see some destruction and everything around you. Because I have a video called like the art of conversation, how she could have dialogue. Because I argue that with Currygom, like you said, the words that she the words, the dialogue, the text, the things, the quotes, everything used, they're all meaningful, and it's not just like I'm saying this so the person who is reading, playing, or watching the thing understand what's going on. It's like, no, this is what these two characters would actually talk about in this situation if they were to run into each other. Like, it makes sense. Everyone's in character. Everyone's like lines and quotes and whatever are in lines with their motivations, ideals, and goals for the future and things of that nature. And I just don't think there's any wasted dialogue. Like go back to the Tagashi thing. Some of the biggest problem with it is a lot of it's unnecessary. You don't have to do all of the tell me somebody's sneaky, and a lot of it, like you said, it's like this is the way for the author, the person reading, to know what's going on. This is like me randomly just going to like Lam and being like, "Oh man, do you remember that time when like God Kubera came to the like you just it's just exposition for exposition's sake. I hate that shit. Don't do that. I hate when stories do that. Where it's like they wouldn't be having this random conversation like, remember when King Kong broke the building and then I'm like, bro, that's not what, like, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's insulting to my intelligence. They should be fighting for Kubernetes more fights. I really don't like to knock it for that, just because I know it's supposed to be a romance more than anything. But like I said, I'm just like, why did you make them so powerful where I can wrap myself around the planet 8 times? I'm like, no, fight!
Like, bro, the fact that like third in the hierarchy Gnostica of these Sura clans are planetary. Like, it's like, and then that's just all these fuckers. Like the Suras and gods are one issue. The amount of high level magicians who aren't fighting is ridiculous. Lutz is apparently god tier.
He's nice.
And he's not, but he hasn't done shit.
Yeah, Lutz has been severely underutilized because he actually had more base vigor than Ran.
Yeah, like it was like I think it was stated like if he had been double A, he would have been second instead of Ran, only under Saha.
I said, but yeah, because he also was doing. I think he's like outside of Asha, he's the only one that's ever done like two styles of magic together, like using Hoti, Indra, and Bhavati Brahma at the same time and things like that. I think he's the only one we've seen do stuff like that before.
Planetary, someone need to take Sura form. Yeah.
And but I don't think, even though he would have a higher rank than Lila, like I don't think, especially after what I've seen with Jabril. That's why I said like
that shit was
Lila,
trippy.
without the spear. That's why I told you, Lamb.
That shit was trippy.
She's stronger than TL. That's why I said, nah, she didn't need the spear for TL. She would have just beat her, honestly.
I agree with that now. Although mind change up Tia with the two swords might have been a problem, but
I think it would have been a problem, but I still think she would have got it. Because to even compete with Jabril is just really insane.
I actually want to, because we talked about the Lee's thing as well. That was another. The whole section of them during the Cataclysm on Walarv is really fucking weird in terms of
Yes.
what the hell's going on with Brilith, Jabril, and Talith. Don't know what the issue is there. It seems like that Jabril's real name is also Kubera.
That's what I took it as.
From the dialogue with her and Lila. Why is Lila there at all?
Because she a bad bitch.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why she's there. The fact that Talith was the Temple of Destruction priest while the temple was destroyed is weird as well.
Yes.
And why is Akasha sending in this many Rakshasa on this point to deal with something? Like, there's a lot of shit
And
going on.
Jabril kind of just dies in like a really
I don't even know. Is
nonchalant.
she dead? Is she just unconscious? How did she die at all? Like, I don't. It's like there's a lot of shit there that I guess summoning Kubera killed her, like vigor wise.
But I still don't know if the next day happened because she specifically says I have to hold on for the day or
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of weird shit going on there. And now that they just left, it's like, okay.
Wasn't
something's
Lila
gotta
there
happen. And also
just to kill Jabril? You think it was literally that simple? I don't know. Maybe you could be right.
The thing is, they were friends, so there had to have been some reason why
I don't
she
know
wanted
what
to
the issue is there.
So
And
unless
also
she's
Kalavinka being there and seeing Lee's and Kaz is also like, how does Lee's not remember this now? Like, this is huge. Because they were like, that Nuna's crazy strong.
So wait.
By the way, Kaz, it's not a friggin' bear, bro. What's good with you? What is wrong with
I don't know
him?
what it is.
Bro, Kaz needs to.
I really.
Also, I don't.
It's some weird twisted way. I think he's the most twisted character in Kubera. I don't know why.
He's bro.
Like,
that dude is a whack job.
What is going on in his brain?
I'm curious. He probably has the soul of just some really strong weird dude.
Honestly,
I don't
bro,
know who it is.
I would not be surprised if this fucker somehow summons Kelly. To be honest, like if he's like a DOS villain, I would not be surprised.
That would be. He can see the future because didn't he know like what would happen to Lise? And he's like, I want you to die so you don't have to deal with this. So he knows something.
Still fucking weird. Still weird.
So Kaz, because I don't know what these nil dudes.
Hold on.
Also, wait.
Where'd that cat go? As well, Vishnu's a bitch just taking that cat.
Oh,
didn't
fucking
the cat go back in time?
Yeah, Vishnu took the cat and never appeared again.
It's like, bye.
Maybe that's. I don't know, bro.
You know
There's a lot.
You know the gift for the guy who played Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio, that's crazy. Mysterio in Spider-Man, and he just kissed when he walks away. That's what he did. He took the cat, he left.
Facts.
My weird thing is, I kind of want to say, I don't want to say this for sure, but I feel like Lila's playing the same game as Ashta, because I can't remember the interaction, but there was an interaction where Lila's talking to Lise.
Let's be the last Kubera surviving or whatever it was like
that. And Lise leaves thinking Lila was being nice to her and stuff. And I think Lila apologizes in her head. But like, I think the implication was Lila's literally sending Lise to die. So she won't die. I can't remember the interaction. Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah, I know it was when Lise was in a cell for because she disobeyed Chandra or some other shit. I think because again, I don't think Lila was really trying to kill Brilith. That's my thing as well.
I don't know. Or you mean Jabril?
Or Jabril? Yeah, Jabril. I don't think she was actually trying to kill Jabril because I don't think there's really any reason for her to try and kill Lise either. Because
also, didn't her master just die? It's a cataclysm.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Yeah, it was.
So Chandra literally had to have just pulled up and killed her master as well.
Yeah. So I don't know what Lila's aim is.
You actually delayed the events for 10 years. It was like this cat's not gonna lead to delete. I think I also commented about before they fought, didn't she? When they talked, I felt I actually did read your comment earlier. I don't know if you were there when I read one of your comments, but I sped run at the speed run 16 days for the comment. I haven't asked a comment in 16 days. So Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, I guess oracles also were a thing far more common. So it is possible that a lot of these people did get hella oracles, like people pre-cataclysm.
Yeah.
So that could be like a lot of factors we're not thinking about. Like Jabril probably could have got a could have gotten an oracle. That's why she knew she needed to last
I also
for like
think
the 10 years to be
Calm's right
fine.
about that. What are you saying,
Maybe
boss?
I was saying if everybody was getting oracles back in the day, right?
Yeah.
It's possible Jabril got an oracle. That's why she would know if she survived the night. Everything
Oh.
would delay for 10 years because she probably could have gotten an oracle. Same with Lila, maybe got an oracle because I forget how. Because they were relatively often things like they had the entire shrines where people would literally go up and just talk
Saha
to
had
gods
one with
outright.
Surya at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So oracles were really common. So that's probably another factor we have to consider. Like a lot of these people probably have oracles.
Mm-hmm. Stay there for a second. Let me ask you something. Glam, do you think this? First of all, this is not me saying blindly follow everything will be fine. But do you think that has a Currygom built up enough good rapport for you that you're like she know you think she has a completely good handle of what she's doing with the story?
Yeah.
Let's say there's like a plot thread you're in the middle of, or a character development you're in the middle of, and you're not entirely sure where it's gonna go, or you're kind of waiting for it to come back full circle. Do you generally have faith that it's gonna come back full circle and make sense?
Well, this is the way I am for most stories now. Authors getting benefit of the doubt from me is a very hard task to achieve.
That's fine.
And even when they get it, I'm still going to reserve judgment on the plot line because the plot line can be bad even if the author's very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but usually I'll just take a wait and see approach on it for anything, especially if they've earned my trust enough, and I think that she has. Now, is that to say that she is incapable of writing something ass in the future? No, it is not.
Yeah,
I'm not going to wholly dismiss
that's
that
totally
if it
fair.
happens.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I just want to. That's why I said not blindly follow, just like because like with me, it's like
Yeah.
I could be thinking with something. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this right now, but I don't go. I don't do a thing where I'm like, I don't believe. I like where I'm like, I like Oda. I'm like, I don't even think it's gonna make sense later when if he does
Yeah.
explain if he does explain it. You see, like first of all, he might not, and if he does, am I gonna like that shit? Like I don't have that problem here. So I just want to know. And I don't know how. I don't know if you read webtoons off of Naver or anywhere else, but is this one of the best webtoons you've read?
This is the best webtoon I've read. This is better
Sweet.
than Tower
That's
God, even
that's
at its peak.
that's really what I wanted to hear, but I was trying to, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
was trying not to, suck too
This,
much
listen.
clitoris. So yeah.
What?
After once the
Currygom's a
time
girl.
travel,
Currygom's a girl.
I mean, he's right. He is true. This is true facts. Okay, don't try and change this into something else,
Yeah.
Miles. Anyway,
Come on, man.
Wait, what? Okay.
Hey yo,
this
I was hacked. So future me took over my body. That wasn't me. I didn't say that shit. What the fuck? Go ahead.
yeah, but this is better than Tower God, even at its peak for
Oh
me.
yeah, easily. It's not.
Begun it.
Yeah. Okay. That's something. That's something I just wanted to add. And do you think her art got better with time?
Yeah,
Okay.
still room to grow, but
Yeah.
definitely improvement.
Uh,
I'm not mad at it.
I got some questions.
You
Oh,
only
we still haven't
only
touched
have
the two
one other
biggest
real.
things.
I have only have one other
Oh,
real
I thought we were
question, and
done. Okay, go on.
then we can just talk about all the story events. This is the last thing I'm going to ask you, really.
Yeah,
Okay.
With Maruna and Rand, but especially with Maruna, because I think Maruna you said now she's top one
Oh yeah.
by a wide margin, right? Or by a decent margin.
Undisputed.
Okay, yeah, all right.
I will be shocked if some character surpasses him
Okay.
at this rate. Shocked.
Even though I truly don't think it's fully done yet, but I do think it's nearing its end. Maybe Maruna's character arc. How great was that?
Oh my god, bro.
Like I said,
Okay, I'll say this right now.
me and you have read, played, and seen a lot, and I still think it's one of
Yes.
the best I've ever seen.
I'll say this a lot. This might be the best slow burn character arc that I've had because this Maroon has been in the story for a long. Because I can bring up an example of a very quick character arc happening that was amazing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And not a lot of people in the audience or audience in the chat are gonna get this one, but it's an example of something that I really enjoy in terms of storytelling. R.A. Salvatore's first trilogy in The Legend of Dritz, regarding his journey from the Underdark to the surface, and how Dritz's mentality is inherently different from his fellow Dark Elves, and how he goes about having to deal with this and coming to his own and realizing what he values and why he wants to escape this place and arriving on the surface, trying to find essentially what he's trying to find a home, spiritually and physically. That was in just the first book. You see how he's rebuffing the teachings of his totalitarian, backstabbing, absolutely fucked religious zealotry society, and how he goes against that. It's immediate. Maruna, his arc, always like you can tell where it's going to go from very early on in the story, but I don't think it really even starts until the end of season 2. I don't think the arc actually begins until that point. And even when it starts going on in season 3, it is slow. Like it's so slow. It takes 100 chapters from the main crux of the character arc with the time travel going on for it to actually get close to its finish. And we're still not even at the finish line yet. And even when he comes back into the present time in 5th stage, I still don't think the arc's over. And I don't think his arc's going to be over until really the end of the story.
Sorry, real quick. The reason why I think there's more to it because of the sins. I never saw the sins coming into it at all. But keep going,
bro. When he took an anti-sins for Rao, I was like, he's the GOAT. This is not even close. He's the GOAT. There's no argument. he's too fucking goated to do that. And I love this line from him that he took from OG Brilith, which is actually wild to me.
They asked you where Rich is from. He's from Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Forgotten Realms, Dungeons and Dragons. If you look up R.A. Salvatore stuff, that's what he's from. Amazing.
It's like Dritz Urden. Yeah. Look up.
If you want to find an example of a Gary Stew / Mary Sue done right, that motherfucker is it, because he's raw at a lot of things, but he's one of the most philosophical characters I've run into in a long time. Salvatore.
Yeah.
Yep. I'd recommend it for anybody that's a fan of fantasy, especially the first trilogy. Homeland, Sojourn. Oh my God, what's the third one? I can't remember the name. But you'll find it somewhere. But whatever. But like when he got the sins, Maruna was goated. And also, I love the line that he got from OG Brilith, which is also wild. That was my point. It's crazy to me that she fell in love with both Maruna and Agni.
Yeah.
As like an OG human. But when he stole the line from her that every life is a universe, like he's different now. This man he's learning to value, and we saw this from a lot of, like Shuri was the biggest example of this, and then later Ran, learning to treat individuals' lives as equals into his own, which that was his main thing. He didn't hate humans. He just thought they were insects that could be crushed, that he didn't need to pay any attention to. And it makes the arc so good.
He was actually rather super indifferent on them. Like, whatever. This is a bunch
of... That's like, I'd say Maroon is a classic. Yeah. I'd say Maroon is a classic example of character development and character change. Because I wouldn't say character growth, because he doesn't really have a character flaw. Because there's something that really hampers him in any sort of way, other than maybe indecision.
Yeah.
When
Kubera's talking maybe if you believe what the God of Earth said, maybe his...
Yeah. But that seemed like sort of an isolated thing. More than anything else. Although maybe you could come up with other examples early in the story if you thought hard enough about it.
Yeah. I think the way he went and interacted with Yuta even.
Yeah, that's potential too.
That part was
crazy.
Like,
you see him develop.
That part where he sees him and he grabs him by his face was awesome, by the way. It was funny as hell. He got so expressive in the 3rd season.
I love the scene when he found the snowflake apple.
Yeah.
As a 4th stage with Enon. Like, maybe I'll eat it because I don't, I thought meat was good. And then he's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Why did I stop eating it? I was done. I was dying. And also when he wrote down not buying to OG Brilith.
Oh, what she was
when he thought she was a salesman.
Yeah.
That took me out.
Nah, he's had a couple of moments like that. I'm like, oh, he's killing me. But remember when he's explaining to the ancient humans, like I don't know if it was magic or the sun or something. Math? It was math. There you go.
Sun and the sun and the solar system.
I love it. It was so good.
And I'll also say that the story reflects this slow burn in terms of the writing and the actual story, which I think actually heightens it, at least from like a potential thematic standpoint. Because this dude spends
millions.
I don't even know.
Billions, maybe, perhaps?
At bare minimum, a few millennium.
Yeah.
Amongst these people.
No, it's...
What do you mean, these people? I'm joking.
These people.
I'm really glad. because there's nothing worse, I think, when like authors try to like show how cool their like characters by like being the fastest. And I'm glad he wasn't like the fastest to break in fifth stage. It
Which is
took
reflective of
forever.
him because it takes forever for him to get to any stage.
Yes. And then I'm curious, Glam, did you ever mistake at a certain point when you thought he was gonna change? Because I
No.
genuinely thought at like the end of I think
The Weight of Time.
yeah, I think at the Weight of Time I was like, is this the moment?
What moment are you talking about, Miles?
I can't remember the specific moment. It was closer to like I think the end of Weight of Time or another moment. I have to go back because there's so much that happens. But what I'm asking is like, did you ever misgauge like when you're like, this is the moment where he's gonna change, and you're like, oh no, it's not.
I mean, I can't think of one personally. I did not think he was going to change when the Ananta shit was happening. Personally,
Okay,
I just because I just didn't think it was. I thought personally, what I thought was going to happen was that he was going to change right before they returned to the past, or
Is
when they
that
returned to the
the chapter before he
future.
transforms? He actually does for a second turn fifth stage, and Rao says he looks different.
I do not remember that, but I was
No, I didn't
speed
catch.
reading that
I
at
didn't
that
catch.
point.
I didn't catch it. Listen, some of the things that I'm telling you, I'm being carried by chat, bro. I promise.
Hilarious.
they, they got my. They sometimes I miss something. They'll let me know. Hey, you missed this. I'm like, I'm sorry.
that's true.
They let me
Chat be
know, bro.
knowing.
I don't. I listen. I work for them. It's okay.
And listen,
They be telling me.
this is my policy every time. The first read is not there to catch every detail.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what the
Yes,
yeah,
reread is for. And
I agree.
when you
yeah,
reread a story, that's when you gain the full value of it.
yeah.
And
That's
that's
why
why
always
I'm
my
like looking at
ratings are
so much
subject. That's
stuff.
why my ratings for stories are always subject to change whenever I reread something.
Yeah.
That's why. That's
Gotta
why
take it
even
slower too.
and that's why Glenn, maybe you might even have a different opinion of Shades. Because I remember we had this talk, Naya, but like now I can say now because Chess was born at the beginning, but like
Mhm.
Maruna went through all of this, and Chess is still older than Maruna,
Chess is
which is
rough.
just crazy.
Chess is still like a top 3 honorable mention for me. I love that man.
That's why I'm like, what could make? Because he has to go through tremendous.
Something with Lenny. I'm gonna call it right now.
Yes, yeah, with Arivata's soul like getting
Yes.
reclaimed or whatever. But when
We
he
read
goes
this
fifth
stuff like
stage,
3 times
ooh,
a year. I feel that. I'm just so busy. Chess is goaded as well. Yeah. Chess is also somebody I want to pay close attention to in my reread because I don't dislike him, but I would argue that I'm the only person who doesn't rate him as highly as everyone else does. So I want to know if it's something I wasn't paying attention to because maybe I was
He's
distracted
just
by
I think what it is,
Yuta
Maya,
being
is that
horny or something. I don't know.
when he was
Maya.
introduced yeah, whatever. When he was first introduced into the story, I think it was just because he was such a different take on the Suras with different mentalities in the story when he was
Mhm.
introduced that made me gravitate towards him. He was just like a neutral party, which he's really not. He's really more on the side of the humans than anything else. I think that's going to even be heightened more so when if Aravata ever does come back in full, she can be like, yeah, definitely side with the humans. What are you talking about, man? That's going to be some shit that's going on too. And I think it'd be interesting to see if Chess has a conflict of interest in that in terms of Kinar and Aravata. But yeah,
Oh, you know what I forgot to ask you about real quick? Well, I mean, you can just kind of you don't have to go into detail. Do you like Anan Ramia, Rana's ancestor or whatever, purple hair?
um,
Because
he's I.
I just thought the overkill part in the tournament was somewhat interesting. Where they're like, "Yo, he doesn't have to like kill them and body them like that." Because back then they still used to use Hadi Vishnu, whatever. Um,
Yeah,
and then the
he's.
Daksha, the kid, I think he was the sixth king of humanity or human, something like that. 16th,
Mhm.
16th king, I think. That Indra had given him like his Vardras and stuff, and I think he was kind of being controlled and manipulated by Indra and everything. So that stuff was like somewhat pretty cool, but I
I
just wanted to know if
the
you.
character aspects of that for Enon and Daksha
Mhm.
weren't moving me. Like
Okay.
they were like I. It was
Their
good to see
story.
from a
Okay.
world building. It was good to
Yeah.
see from a world building perspective, though. Like any sort of major historical event, which this was, being fleshed out in this way, I think is good for the overall like understanding of events that happen in the story. But like in terms of the
Mhm.
characters themselves, meh or whatever.
And I have to actually pull it up here, so give me a second. But Art Ram being there was interesting. I think it was I want to say that it last week's blog post, Miles, or 2 weeks ago when she was talking about the side story she wanted to do. Do you remember?
Yeah, she
Oh,
had a
I think it
whole
was
list of
last
them.
week.
She
I
had
think
a
it was
whole list
last
of them
week.
that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And there was
Yeah,
like
no.
a mystery 3-part one that she said.
Yeah, I'm gonna,
Uh,
I think did I find
we
it?
could
Yeah,
just pull it
okay,
up.
right here. I found it. Yeah, it's 18. It's eight. I think it was a miss 18. So it's basically the options were the story of Art Ram and her Phoenix magic friend, plus the story of Anand and Art Ram later on, because she was introducing that flashback. So I'm like, okay, that could be interesting. Two, the story of Kinara and Aravata in the beginning, where their powers were normal. Three was the story of Shuri and Yaksha and his mate, 2 episodes.
I need
Cad
that.
Kadru's life story, whatever. And then
I don't
Three
even
was
know. I
class.
don't remember what
Yeah, I don't know.
Cadra was, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Three was classified. Those ones only ones that were like. Which one sounds most interesting to you?
Definitely Yaksha.
No, Kadra's the the Dragon Nastica that got
Oh, that's
taken
the one
over
that
by.
that's the one that Texaka kicked the shit out of.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I think the Shuri action one's cool. The Kanara Aeronaut one's cool. I actually think the art realm stuff could be cool. I just feel like she said, oh, if I have to prioritize, I'd probably pick those two though. But
The Art Ram thing is just like it's like more OG Brilith and here's the thing. Whenever I'm looking at OG Brilith versus normal Brilith, it's like I don't really care about the past lives that much.
Wait, Artram's a past life of Brilith?
Yeah. That's what I think anyway. Seemed that way. When Agni met her and then Yama's like, you don't even realize who she is. I was like, that's for sure. Past life of Brilith.
Wait,
you
I
think
think you're
that Shuri
missing
Yaksha and his
interpreting.
mate, so Shuri
Wait,
wasn't his first partner? Ooh.
no, Artram's the one that she was barely mentioned in Anata. She was around with Anan.
Yeah, pick here. And
Yeah.
she has a line about the gods being some, and that's I'm like, that's blasphemy. Oh
Yeah,
no.
she was a soldier.
Mm.
And like she met Agni, and then Yama was like, "You don't even realize who this is." When Agni was talking
No,
about it,
she
because
didn't. She didn't meet Agni. Wait,
yeah,
not in the Nata arc.
it was in a special chapter. I thought
No,
it
no,
was the same.
that's not
Oh,
Artram.
okay, that's not the. I thought it was. Never mind.
No, Artram's in the Nata arc. Like she's like
It
a
was the
background character.
pink haired bitch, right?
Yes,
Okay, yeah, so
yes.
that's different then.
Okay, so I don't remember the context for why I saved this comic specifically, but maybe if I read it, I'll remember. So remember when Agni told the first Brilith that gods couldn't help ancient humans early on because they're still trying to get the universe to have more energy, and Suros kept destroying planets in that time. I took it as gods only gained enough power after enough humans were killed, which I assume turned into vigor. What do you guys think about that?
I think that's
That's a theory.
possible.
That's a theory concerning Vigor, because Vigor is it's the shit inside Ran, and it's also the Blue Boys that
Yeah.
Kalaminko was beating the shit out of.
I mean, I think it would still give credence to what I think. I still think it's still losers of the previous universe.
Vigor boys.
But
Yep.
Is Rand?
That's trademarked by me, by the way.
Did they take over? Did they take over? Did they take over Rand? We'll find
Nah.
out one day.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Real accepting her own
Speaking
race being
of,
Rand
because
the Left.
I didn't talk about Ran yet.
Oh yeah. His stock been going up. You know, cause actually, sorry, that reminded me of. Oh, I'm sorry. I have so many questions. That reminded me of the last thing I realized I wanted to ask you. Because Rand was a character that I never expected to like this much, right? So I wanted to ask you, there's a character that's kind of in your like top 10 or one of your favorites that you never expected to like this much, and vice versa. A
Easily
character you
Cossack.
thought you'd have liked more.
In terms of like that, I never thought I would like as much. Because I taken certain points when I look at characters, I'll like briefly look at like what they look like on like a wiki page before I do it. That's just the way I am, and it's not like it's not. I don't really feel spoiled when I do things like that.
I can't.
I'd
same.
seen
I can do
Cossack.
it.
I can't do
I'd
that.
seen
I'll cry.
Cossack. I had seen Cossack at one point. I was like, yeah, he looked cool. And now when I read him, I was
Not
like, this
Pink.
dude's
Arms the green hair girl. Am I Nape? Oh, sorry, keep going.
well, I
I'm
don't,
looking.
who,
I'm,
yeah, I
I'm
was like,
game.
Cossack Radjoff is the fucking goat when I was reading him. And honest to God, like, I might have to change this. Like, yeah, I might have to. I don't know, man. Him and Brilith is hard because Brilith I did expect to like, but her previous life shit is kind of not moving me. I want to see more current stuff with her. But in that example, I did not expect this to like Cossack as much as I did.
Okay.
Characters that I disliked that I thought I would like.
Not that I dislike it, just like I'm like, you know what? I didn't think I would like this character like this. Because again, Rand's stock just kept rising, and then like Rand's in my top 5, but Rand, I never disliked him. I just like, he's a funny guy. He's a good guy, cool guy. He's like Rack. Maybe you want to say I thought he'd be like a Rack type. I'm like, nah, he's so much more.
I guess Lorraine. I thought I would like her more just off rip, but she got annoying real fast.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
No Lorraine in this house.
I mean, I can't even say that because I didn't really give a fuck about Lorraine at all. So I was like, nah. Yeah, I don't think there's one in that second category I could really think of.
Fair
In
enough.
regards to Rand specifically,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, he's almost in my top 5. Like him and Gandharva are like extreme diffing for that last spot right now. Um, I think what's gonna really affect Rand's, because for Maruna, like I know where it's gonna end. I don't know where it's gonna go for Rand in terms of his arc so far. Because it seems like the intention of this is like, hey, we're gonna break you down from this sort of happy-go-lucky, but also very empathetic character to one that's a lot more jaded and overly aggressive due to an over sense of protectiveness for his family. That's the way I see it going. But I need to see how it ends in that regard too. Because I'm not sure, I'm still not sure how we go from where we're at now to where he's at in the present, where he's ready to murder Brilith and seemingly Shess over very, I would honestly, either a minor infraction or a misunderstanding of sorts, which is not like him. And I'm not sure if that's because there's also Vigor Boys playing some role in this as well. That's hard to determine. But I'll say this in terms of the arc that he's had. Him and Maruna's relationship is fantastic. His relationship with Yaksha, fantastic. His small interactions with Tatya and Hanuman and Kaluvinka, because I think Rand is just an easy character to insert in a character interactions, and they're usually going to be good because of who he is. I would love to see more from him and Hanuman, especially because Hanuman seems a lot more inclined to interact with
I thought
mortals.
Hanuman's return was really good.
Yes, I was very excited to see it, especially considering the level of care she demonstrated for Rand when she knew who he was in like terms of family. I was like, okay, we'd love to see that. But I'll say like the highlight of the arc is Evernow is going to be
Even just like kind of like letting like Rand cry in front of her.
Yeah,
Even though she didn't make the little joke after, but like before
as
she
soon
would
as
be
that
like,
happened, I was like, "Hey, man, that's grandma. That's all right. Do that shit." but like the highlight of the arc, everybody knows what it is. Heart of Yaksha is easily the most important part. It denotes shit with his mom, shit with his dad, who he is. I'm actually willing to bet after the Yaksha stuff, he might not have a fear of halves anymore. To be honest. And also the Sura form is just too clean. Especially when he was in space with wings. Come on, man. That shit was different.
Goat. He's just there looking at Sympathy like, what's going on here? Why he looks so raw?
Yeah, he said, "Are you really a fifth stage?" I'm disappointed. I was like, "Oh my god, talk to this bitch, please."
do you Look, I'm trying to remember now. I'm curious last night this let's just say for some odd reason, don't think too hard, but let's say Rao replaced Rand's position early on when they first went in the time like thing. Do you think Rao could have had equal, more or less impact on Maruna like Rand did?
I guess the one variable I would be missing to some degree is like, I guess I don't, I want to know if like Rao was the way that we saw him presented. Is he generally always kind of like that? Is that how he really is? Or I haven't really seen him
I
emote.
would say yes, based off what everybody says. I think he's very much like Lee's in that sense of like always doing stuff with people and not presenting how hurt he really is.
Okay. Yeah, I think it could. I think it could have been comparable. I just don't think they would have gone about it the exact same way. But I think it'd have been
Yeah.
comparable. Just real quick. So hold on. I'm stupid. This character with the green hair with the scarf, that's Art Ram?
Oh,
Not
that
the one with the
bitch?
pink hair?
Yeah, yeah. It's a green girl.
Okay, my fault
Oh,
then. My bad. I'm dumb
man,
then.
okay.
I
That's extra
apologize.
mid. I do not care
I thought
about
it
that
was
one.
I thought it was the chip eating one. My fault. I take that back. I apologize. I don't want to spread no misinformation.
Yeah, okay. If that's the case, then I like super extra don't care. Like that
Okay.
that and Kadru was yawn to
Easy.
me.
Oh, scroll down a bit. Oh wow. Oh yeah.
Andrew's interesting because he seems to have like I
Weird
could be
path.
misremembering weird past, but also some level of actual like kind of personality. Am I tripping?
He just seemed like a meathead or like dismissive of a lot of shit to me.
I had to remember back. I'm just saying because anytime I see like a dragon having any semblance of
I mean,
level of emotion,
Yeah,
that
you're right.
motherfucker
My
is
name is
not a
Art
dragon
Ram. I
at
was
this
recently
point.
like, yeah, priest of magic. Okay, yeah, my fault, guys. I don't know. I made a mistake. The pink
Yeah, I
hair
don't.
character probably stayed in my like stick in my craw a little more just because of the line about the gods and blasphemy, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But it was Art Ram who was like, no, we can't say that. That's blasphemous. My bad.
Yeah, I don't, yeah. She whatever.
Yeah. I just know that creation magic is like we kind of starts here, so it's just this is a very important historical figure. But yeah,
World building.
mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. But yeah, is there anything else? Is there anything you think you need to highlight? Anything? Anything? Any? How do you feel? How do you? I
Oh,
never asked you. I don't know if I ever asked you about the locations in general, like Cali Bloom and all the places we go to. How do you like the environment and the backgrounds and whatnot? Like how the places look in general.
they look
I've
good.
I've always liked
On
Aero Plateau. I really like Aero Plateau. I like it a
I
lot.
think I think Larv and the planet where the ancient humans are easily the best.
Oh yes. Ancient Human
Looking,
City was going crazy.
yeah, looking places.
Okay.
Um,
I'll talk about importance necessarily, just kind of aesthetically.
well, yeah. I think Air Plateau is 100% the most distinct place in my
Mhm.
opinion. Um, Atera was good to look at. Rindhall is interesting. I'd like to actually see more of Eloth personally.
Okay.
Um, Misty Shores, I just every time I when I see Misty Shore, I just think of like that one town in a Pokemon game that's on the coast that's always there.
By the water, you got to surf.
That's the,
You got to surf too.
yeah, yeah. That's the exact thought that I have whenever I think of fucking Misty Shore.
That's funny.
Um, I think the one place that could use more looking into would be the Sur Realm, even though the Sur Realm's kind of supposed to be this wasteland, so it's like kind of
Mhm.
damned if you do, damned if you don't type thing with that in terms of world building for me. The God Realm is it's also supposed to be barren but idyllic, and I feel like I've gotten that so far, but I'd kind of like to see a little bit more.
Mhm. What about hell
Yeah, but
though?
that's about it though. Maybe a couple other different planets too, but it seems like this one that actually a question I have is like the rest of the entirety of the human race at this point fucking extinct other than Walarv?
Mm,
I don't think so, but
no,
I
I
don't
used
think
to
so.
think that, but in season 2, Varuna says something that indicates that there are other planets with people on it.
I'll be right back.
With
Keep
like
talking.
planetary gods and shit too.
Yeah,
Because
but
that's the other
I
thing
think
as well. It's
most
like
are.
it seems weird as well to me that none of these other planets don't have any sorcerers good enough to summon any of the fifth zen at all so far. It seems like just Walarv's people are just goaded.
Yeah, but I would also assume maybe because also they're not being attacked really by Suras at this point.
That
It's
to
the
me
same,
is like
at least no superior Suras, because that's why they need the gods here.
I,
Because all
on
the superior Suras got left out.
yeah,
They have to be in the Sura
on
realm.
like a technical level, the lack of other planets that have people on them is like a world building issue, but also it's like I think it's actually a good thing that it's not because I think the scale's big enough already. I think expanding to
Yeah,
multiple planets with multiple characters that could also some of the other gods is biting off a lot more than you can chew. So
and
I'm willing to give that a pass, even though it's technically an issue.
Corey is right. They were blowing up planets before to
Yeah,
kill other
there was.
Kuberas.
That's why I asked that. It was like
Yeah,
I thought.
because Cart was destroyed in 5. It was after the Cataclysm, so it wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I was saying like, is it possible that the rest of humanity is just dead? and that's why everything is so fucked, and why Vishnu's just gone because he's trying to figure out a way to handle it. But I don't know.
Man, I'm just happy that you're reading this.
We in there.
I need
I
more.
have two quick questions, just in like general questions.
Go ahead.
And just a one random thing that I found that I don't know why I didn't realize, but like Lees and Rand are technically related. That like threw me for a loop. Because Lee's
Heist.
Heist.
Yeah.
Lisa's mom and Rand's aunt are like distantly related.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That threw me off. I was like, I don't know why I didn't reckon. There's a lot of those things of like people being related to people and you don't just like pay attention well enough.
Well, I actually think
like,
it makes the older brother, younger sister dynamic that they
better.
had.
Right? I guess more accurate.
It's like kind of not there anymore, and I
Yeah,
wish it
it's not.
was still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it much like okay, this works because you're
Yeah.
technically family.
Same like with like the Pro Asia's guy is supposedly Proha's son.
Who's that Jays again? I can't remember.
He was in season 1. He's the president, or he's the headmaster of the Atera Academy.
Guy with the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
He's like Kroha's son, but like there's like a thing of like he doesn't admit it or something.
Okay.
But my two questions are: one, in Frozen Tear, is the hand near Brilith? Was that Kubera?
God or lady?
God. This is right when Agni just was dealing with Ganhaver after he certified.
Okay, yeah. Here's one thing I gotta ask too, because there's the dialogue when Agni and Gandharva first meet in Atera, to my knowledge, has not been expanded upon. Am I tripping in that regard? Because it was like blotted out with like Korean characters.
I assume that's Agni just talking about like the history that him and Brilith had.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
That's how I took it. That's why Gandhi trusted him, because he's like, this is what I want to protect her.
In season 2, when there's a hand on her that makes him come away, I do think that is Kubera.
Okay. That's what
again, this character is a fucking enigma to me. I don't know what he wants or what he's doing or who he actually cares about.
Yeah, because when I was
I'll say this with the God of Sorry, actually, go ahead. Finish.
Okay, go on.
After. Oh, okay. Well, I think I started to understand him better with that confrontation with Kanara, Avatar, Rafanara, and Kanara, Fusion Hog, Vegito, whatever you want to call her, right? Right. There's something I wish I could remember verbatim, but there's a line that he says about like working in the favor or in the for the sake of Anata that I think kind of made a lot of his prior actions make a lot more sense to me. Where I think I have a better grip because I'm totally with you. It's well documented in so many videos. I'm like, I cannot get a read on this guy. What does he want from my life? Like I don't know what he wants. I cannot get a read on him.
And I still liked him despite that too.
I kind of did it, but like he can't. But when he's on his detective gimmick, trying to find out, like, okay, you can't say something inside, which means you're gonna blah blah yada yada. In the Anata arc, he started to kind of move me, but and then him and Yama, you know what I'm saying? Yama the goat. So
I liked his interactions with Lees. That was the main thing for me with him.
Yeah. I got you.
But I co-signed the idea because it's like when Ananta's speaking to, because when he gets summoned to the kingdom by Enon, Ananta says to, I believe, Maruna, that he asked, time has stopped, he's talking to Maruna, and then Kubera can also speak in the space, because we know Kubera has some future time abilities for some reason. Don't know why that is. It might be because Ananta said that Kubera is his friend. And that seems to be the only god that Ananta is friends with.
The cool
So
thing
that's
about that
one
line
interesting.
too, by the way, is like, does he mean Anata, or just the name itself? Is like you could kind of interpret it a couple of ways.
I think because what he says, like, hey, Kubera, would it be better if I survived because of such and such? I can't remember the exact dialogue. And Kubera says, yes, it'd be better for you to survive. And then Ananta says, Samruta. He's lying, right? And that feeds. And when you talk about what he says, it's just for the sake of Ananta. My theory for that is what was initially painted as Kubera killed Ananta for some goal that he had in mind for himself or potentially like the universe. I think it's much more likely now. When Ananta was losing it to the Sins, he asked Kubera to kill him, and Kubera did it, and he feels guilty about it, and that's why he wants to bring him back because he's sad boying. And I think that reflects on a lot of his expressions when Cigar is taunting him about it as well.
Yes, I agree. But I think there was a how do I explain it?
Now the reason why he's doing that, because I also think he's doing some long game with Brahma, Kali, and Vishnu too. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I also think I think Lee's is the how do you want to say reincarnation of the new perfect host, I guess, for it all. Like I think this is a whole thing of like why she has every name, because like with a Nata could hold some of the sins, Rao could hold some of the sins. I think like by getting all these names from different races and like of like the perfect ones that can hold it, she can now be a container. So when she does it, whether or not a Nata revives through or comes in, he can do what he needs to do in the end game or whatever.
I think it's more likely that Ananta. I wouldn't be surprised if Ananta just transfers all of his abilities to Lee's and still stays dead.
That I would like, because I mean I still think he's actually inside of her to some degree, but
yeah,
people in the chat
that's what I think is more likely.
People in the chat are also saying apparently Cigar, from what she says in 3, and by like process of elimination, it could have also been chess. Apparently, that was by Brilith actually.
Yeah, that is possible.
You gonna read the finite, bro?
Hmm.
Are you gonna read the finite? I'm just asking. I'm just curious.
Tuxaka hasn't moved me enough yet for me to really care.
Yeah. All right. It's okay.
I have one last question.
I know. Go ahead.
Let's be done with it because it's late. Okay. I'm looking at the Vishnu comment when Gandhi was talking about getting a lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
From what it seems like,
it was supposed to be Varuna.
You could take it as Vishnu actually never promised a god would do it. He literally just promised a lake would be formed. And that was Gandharva's thing. Like Gandharva was supposed to make the lake himself.
A lake will get made. I ain't say I'll go
so
make it though.
So far, that's been Cap.
That's funny as fuck.
Well, actually, did he? I can't remember. Did he actually make the lake, and that's partially why he's weakened now?
He did make the lake, yeah.
Okay. So then
he made the lake when the Atraka clan was attacking.
Yeah. So yeah, because he felt,
and it was supposed to kill him, but it didn't.
Yeah.
But like literally, Vishnu's talking to him, and he never like actually expressly says a god. I will get the god to do it.
This is the thing. This is more on Vishnu than it is Gandharva, because Gandharva thought they were friends. Because that's one another thing too. I don't know how this friendship between Gandharva, Vishnu, Shuri, and Garuda works, and we need to get some answers on that, in my opinion, especially given what Gandharva's temperament was prior to.
Yes,
I'm assuming this friendship between the four occurred after he had married Manaka and Shakuntala was born, but this is way more on Vishnu being a vague speaking cunt than Gandharva not interpreting the message correctly. Because like when you say a lake's going to be formed in this area where it's toxic, so I have to use my abilities to remove the toxicity, the logical thing to think is that if I do this, I might die. So I'm not going to do that because it's not really a good idea, especially because I have people I care about.
He does say something about going to talk to other gods, but he never says, I'm going to talk to other gods and ask them to do it for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like...
It's Vishnu being a dick for no reason to his alleged friend.
He made the ocean, but for some reason the ocean...
See, but then I'm curious if he did this specifically to also
make
Gandharva do it, so he would be weakened.
Future, probably.
Yeah, because if he didn't weaken himself long enough, he wouldn't have had the human interactions he did with Teo to go through the character development necessary.
Yeah.
Because if he came at full power, it would have just been chops.
But consider this. What
Don't you do
Kanarvata
this.
was saying made sense.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? She was like, y'all just talk about the best possible future. You're going to prolong it. You're not thinking about how good those years are. So I'm saying, fuck Gandharva. Let's just kill him off and not think about, you know what I'm saying, prolonging it as long as this. And let's make it the best universe it can be, even in a short period of time. That's what I'm saying.
I can't wait for when Teo walks down the aisle with him.
I
That's all
swear
I'm
to
saying.
God,
That's
she'll
not-
drop the bottom of the barrel so quick. I'm not rocking with that. I'm not. I don't support. What do they say to weddings? If
I
ever
object.
ever hold your peace, I object. Objection. Phoenix Wright in the background playing, bro. Fucking overturned playing in the background. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to see it. I don't want it. Turn it off.
Wait.
Best possible future, Playpa.
Turn it off.
It
Fuck.
really is though. You're gonna have to
It's okay.
accept it.
I got Brilith. It's okay.
Wait, you did bring up a good point though. I just want to say, real quick. Did you find it weird then, Glam, when Kanara was talking to Kubera and them, and she said, "You guys are the ones that told me to get like the name changing spear or gave it to him."
I don't
And
think
they,
she's speaking specifically about Kubera and Yama, because even Yama says like we didn't do that. Those are the
that's
other
why
guys. She's
yeah,
generalizing.
I'm not coping. I'm just saying if and when it happens, just know she trash. That's all. Do you know what it reminds me of? I don't know if I might have told you this before, Glam. There's so many characters I loved in X-Men until they fucking like Scott Summers. I fucking hate you now. I hate
Bro,
Cyclops. I
I think you and
loved Psylocke. Oh, you like
Mhm.
Cyclops? You're garbage. I don't like you anymore. I don't want to play with you anymore. I dropped the
I
toy.
think you and I have talked about this. I've said this many times. Jean Grey is a great character whenever she's separated from that toxic group.
Exactly.
I stand by that. Whenever
There it
she's
is.
away from that bitch, Scott Summers. Oh my god, it's like night and day.
I can't stand Scott, bro. Can't stand it. Also, when everyone refers to you gods, it's not like everyone gave the consent.
Yeah, I don't think Kubera or Yama gave consent to Kinar at all. I think she's just generalizing the gods and probably thinking there was some hive mind just because Indra signed off. Bastard.
okay, I would have to go back and look at the verbiage. Okay, that's interesting.
Yado. Indra. Come on, man. Let me team Yam.
He needs to be
here.
evil. Get some godly villains.
I don't mind. I don't have a problem with them. Not
And
necessarily
we
being
got
the best guy.
Indra.
What's also weirdly, we still haven't seen a Temple of Sky on Malarv yet either.
Is that true?
We never saw the temple. We saw the priest though, but we never saw the temple.
Who was the priest? I don't
The
remember.
priest is Mirha's dad.
Is it?
Yeah, he doesn't talk. Like he barely talks. He just agrees with whatever he says. Because I think there's a weird thing of like, because he transferred from Cart in like year 995, like 5 years before the Cataclysm. He was super sad because he left his like wife to die supposedly.
Yeah, he is the priest of the sky. Okay.
Yeah,
Probably the temple's on Air Plateau then.
it is on Arrow Plateau. Yeah, it's Sky and Wind there,
I
but he
hope
doesn't do much.
Was at
There-
Air Plateau. Urha Simon.
Yeah. Okay. Do we know if there's a Temple of Restoration as well? Because I have not seen that either.
There was supposed to be the Temple of Vishnu is in Misty.
Wouldn't it be of Asavans now?
They never got one from Marut or Aslan because remember destruction. It was Shiva and Vishnu before the thing.
Vishnu. Yeah, but wouldn't
Vishnu,
they change up for the Four Sons anyway?
I don't. They maybe,
Well,
but
they
they
haven't
never
done it
did.
they obviously haven't done it for destruction yet. But.
Yeah, so they never did it. But Vishnu's on. It was in Misty Shore.
Man, Marut and
But that's also. But that's
Marut,
empty now. It's
Marut
not even
and
destroyed.
Asavans are getting a hoed if that's the case.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still fourth then. So I mean, they got the calendar date. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess he is Temple of the Sky. I don't remember ever seeing that for some reason.
He's barely in season 2. Like he's really.
I remember the character.
background.
I just don't remember him being priest of the sky.
No.
Aline is or was the priest, right? Rand's up.
No, that's her husband. Her husband's the water priest. Elaine is all Ashvin.
All right. Next week, look out for the little Saha reaction video. It's almost. I would have had it. It's almost done. It'll be out next week. So look out for that. And we finally got a nice little. I think I'll just do these on Tuesdays. I think it's not a bad day to do these. I think I'll start doing stuff on like actual days and everything and whatnot. But thank everyone for joining us. Unless you guys any final words, any last things you want to get in there.
No, I'm good.
I'm good too.
All right. not the greatest of all time. You're